Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGenEd. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts like the chart behind me, which is of natural gas. And I will also be going over United States natural gas, ticker symbol UNG. And I will also be going over 2x leveraged natural gas, ticker symbol BOIL or BOIL. But before I get into those ETFs, I'm first going to go over the chart here. And it has been a couple weeks since I last went over this, and price has gone up a lot. And we did close last Friday above a pretty key level. This red line marked here at $2.20.9, which was the prior low over here hit on December 13th before we broke lower. And it does look like all of this price action here was a great time to accumulate because we may very well be breaking out over the next week or two or more. And so, I did want to go over some of these levels that I do have highlighted to the upside. And so this is really just a Fibonacci retracement going from the high here hit on January 9th, coming down to the low hit on February 19th. And I included just a few levels that do stand out to me as being important. And one of the reasons why it's just a few levels is because the 382 is approximately at the current price, I believe, just a little bit lower than it, a little bit lower than this red line. So I did feel like it would be redundant to include that level. And so the next one up here is the 50% level, and that is at a price of $2.36. There is some consolidation over here, so that might be acting as resistance, as it was resistance over here. But we also could blow past that, getting to this little range here, which is the golden pocket, ranging from the 618 to the 65% level. And that is really just a price range from about $2.54 to about $2.59, being just above this dashed line that I have marked there at $2.50.6, which was this gap level that we have since filled. But, that just being right around $2.50, being just kind of, a psychological round number ending in that 0250. That might be another level of importance. But I do think that this does have a shot at getting to this gold pocket. Maybe in the next couple of weeks, we may see some volatility. So, I'm pretty excited about that, but I'm also, prepared for, maybe a retest of this green dashed line at a price of $2.03.7. You never know. But I do feel like we are at the point of breaking out. And I do think that will be translating to the ETFs. And so now I'm going to switch over to those, which do look a little bit different, because price has resided so low. And so here looking at UNG, which closed on Friday at a price of $15.67, being up almost 5.5% on the day. We can see here that price has resided down pretty low for quite some time. But, it does also look like it might be breaking out. If I do draw a little, trend line here, we are starting to get to the point of testing the top of that. So I do think, just like with natural gas, we could start to see these ETFs taking off. So, I'm really looking forward to that, especially with UNG, because that is the one I hold. And so one thing that I am doing is that I am trying to accumulate a little bit more, on pullbacks. And so at the price at above $15 a share, I could see it pulling back to right around $15, and that does seem to correspond with these tops over here. So that might be serving as support, maybe a pullback before a launch to move up to these levels that I have marked. Again, another Fibonacci retracement going from the highs hit on January 9th and then to the low hit on April 16th. And so from this, the first level that does stand out is the 236 at a price of $17.08, being just below this prior low, which was hit on December 12th at a price of $18 exactly, marked by that orange line. That was resistance over here in March, at the beginning of March. So I could see that acting as resistance again if we can get past the 236. So I'd be keeping an eye on that. But then just beyond that, the 382 is at a price of $19.07. We do see some consolidation just below it on the way down, so I do expect that to be acting as some notable resistance. Just like $18 with the bottom here, there will be some resistance there. I do expect there to be some resistance here as well. Whereas with the 50% retracement at a price of $20.68, I don't see too much consolidation there, so I don't think that will be too notable of a level. And then getting up to, the golden pocket, ranging from $22.28 to 72 cents. But again, I don't see too much consolidation above that. But also, I do feel like that is pretty hopeful to be thinking that price will be going so high. But, if natural gas does start to squeeze, I do think it will be reflected in UNG as well as Boyle. But then the next level up here is the 786 at 24.57. So it would be great if price went up to that level or getting back to the highs here at 27.48. But, we're just going to have to see. I really do think that $18 and $19 will be pretty key levels, especially $20 being, lots of zeros in that number. It's going to be psychological. So I do think that will be another one to be keeping an eye on. And then now switching over to Boyle, again with the Fibonacci retracement going from the high from January 9th down to the low here, hit at the end of March on March 27th. And before I forget, Boyle did close on Friday at a price of $14.64, being up almost 8% on the day, and it has been residing down at the depths for quite some time. But if we start to see natural gas breaking out, I do think we will see that with Boyle, and rather than it being volatile to the downside, I think we'll see that volatility go into the upside. So, it could be a great time to be accumulating right around this yellow line here at 1345. Actually being, above the low that was hit on the 27th at a price of $12.28. But anyways, getting into the levels, the first one that we see here is the 236 at a price of $18.99, being right around $19. We think in zeros, so I do think that will be an important level. But then just above that, the orange line is at $19.77, just below $20 a share. And that did act as resistance here on the 5th of March. Could be acting as resistance again, so good to keep an eye on that. And then moving up, the 382 is at $23.14, being just below this red line here at 23.83, which was the low hit on December 11th. And so with those two levels, we do see a lot of consolidation there, but I actually see the consolidation going a little bit lower, so right around $22, we might be seeing some resistance there if price can get up to those levels. So do keep an eye on that. The 50% level is at 26.49. Again, I don't see too much consolidation there. Really that's starting to get through the consolidation that we see here. So I don't think the 50% level will be that notable, but then getting to the golden pocket, I think that would be great at a price ranging from $29.84 to $30.75. Would be remarkable to be seeing that, or the 786 at a price of $34.62, if not getting back to these highs at $40.70. But that is what I see in the chart here. And pulling back to the chart here, I do think that there is a lot of upside with natural gas at this point. I think we have, made it through this tough part, and I do think that there is a lot of upside for us for the rest of the year. And, I hadn't looked at the chart zoomed out like this in quite some time, and I do think it is pretty interesting to see this forecasted average up here for the year, which I had pointed out at the beginning of the year That is at a price of $3.50. So I'm pretty curious, what are we going to see the average be for the year? If it is to be $3.50, that would mean price would need to be getting a lot higher than that, for that to be the average, since we've spent so much time down here. So, we're going to have to see where price takes us, but I do think it will be taking off in the next couple weeks. I think the next video I put out on natural gas is going to be a pretty exciting one. But, those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching.